Hey everyone, you got Jason here from Noble Locksmith San Mateo. We're working on a 2025 Mazda CX-30. We're using MDARS software to program keys. This car is all keys lost, and that's what we will run. To get started here, I like to make sure that I have the right VCI selected. I'm using the Cardac 3, which we will select, and then we will hit go. This generally takes about 8 minutes, and you can literally set your watch to it. While that's running, I want to let y'all know that I suggest using RFID blocking bags because just like Honda, it asks you to take the keys out of the car. Other than that, we'll let this process and come right back. All right, and we're back. We just processed through that. There should not be any pop-ups that come up. I did learn recently through life experience on a CX-50 hybrid. It is a joint production with Toyota, so it's a different process. Just slide into the DMs if that happens to you and let us know, and we'll get you the help on that. But now that we are loaded and connected to the car, we're trying to turn the ignition on. We're going to force ignition. We go to toolbox, and then we float here to, there should be a wrench, and then power systems we go down to. And I know I'm moving quickly here, but we want to go to compulsory ignition on, and we hit run. You can see here on the screen, it comes up with some stuff. And it says to take the keys out of the car. That's why we have them in the RFID bag, so that's good. We hit next, and the ignition should turn on. It never does. We have to hit the start button, or try with the brake pedal and then the start button, and now the ignition is on. We got that beautiful Mazda floating chime. We jump back over here, we hit next, and procedure successful. We get a lot of great feedback in MDARS from being connected. My icons are not loading here for some reason, probably because I'm shooting a video. We want to go back to quick check, and we want to now refresh the DTCs. Let that go. And when that's done, we're going to clear all DTCs. Again, this is for all keys lost. This might not happen for everybody, but this is the process that I follow. And I know there's DTCs, so I'm going to clear and refresh. And also, this car's in transport mode, so some things are different. And I will explain as much as I can through that process. This is a quick procedure. Everything's done. I take a screenshot here from my records in case I need to email tech support for anything going on. And I'll try to do that one-handed. Sometimes you get through the programming process and it says failed because of DTC potentially. So I just like to have all of that. I like to get the VIN number and the timestamp from my own records. And that's there. So we have turned on the ignition and now cleared DTCs. We go back to toolbox and we're ready to start programming. We go to security and locks, and then open up the Immobilizer menu. And for my process, I go to deactivate and activate an advanced key. If you're only adding a key, I would choose the one above. But again, this is all keys lost. I'm going to run this process. And again, it's going to ask that we have the ignition on. And as mentioned, we get great feedback in the system as I click through these tabs. And we are successful with that. And this is going to clear out all keys, and 2 keys are required. This is the feedback I was saying that's great. The system tells us that the ignition is on, which is what it's looking for, so that's great. And if it's not the right condition or state of software, it will tell us that. And what's important here is we do have a long security timer, and we're going to access the BCM here. And when it says 7 minutes, you have to wait. Make sure that you hit this next button to get that countdown to actually start. Don't sit there for 7 minutes and then wonder what happened. While this is happening, there is some stuff you can do. We have to get in codes and out codes from Mazda, again, through NASTF credentials. So I type all of this stuff in, and I usually go to side by side here with Chrome as my browser. And you want to grab the VIN number. And I do 2 tabs at the same time because we need the in code and then the out code. So grab the VIN from somewhere, try not to type it in, and definitely don't type it in twice. So I get 2 tabs that are duplicated, and the Immobilizer code word is what we're looking for. That's a rolling pin code to get us into the system to program. So I'm going to fill this all out, let this timer run, and then we'll jump back for more. All right, so this timer is running here, and I went ahead and filled out the stuff online in order to get my code ready to save myself 5 minutes. Some callouts on here. You have the out code 1 and out code 2, and you'll see this a couple of times. It's 2 16-character strings that you put together to make a 32-character string for the online portal. And then when you go back in, you take the 32-character string, input it, and then cut it down to 16 and repaste that. I do that simply by holding down the shift key and hitting the arrow key 16 times. And then just doing a double count to make sure. It's very difficult to transpose all the information, but just take your time and be careful with it until you're comfortable. And this timer's about to run out. And one more gotcha I want to explain as this hits. We have our code word here, which I am going to get ready. I'm copying it. And then as this timer hits, it will say next, but I need to actually get into the following screen here. So at 4:20, I hit next. Nothing changed yet. This gets me to the point where I could copy and paste this data here if you decided to wait, but otherwise I still have to hit next to input my in code. Like that. And then I paste. And now I have to take off 16 characters. So I hold down the shift key, try to balance. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Cut, paste, and then hit next. Security access granted is what we're looking for, not in focus. And then I hit next. And now we're going into the PCM. All the focus is off. And now I essentially do the same thing. That's why I told you to have a second tab ready to go. So let me get that going and we'll jump right back. All right, so I've got my second Immobilizer code word ready to go. I flip back, I hit next, and it's the same thing. It's Groundhog Day here. Paste. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's a good time to do a lot of breathing exercises. I apologize for the long video. It's just a long process. We hit next. Security access granted. And then I have a 5-minute wait timer. This happens more and more often. And just some tidbits while this process is, there's a lot of information, a lot of transposing, a lot of typing. All the information is right there. The part number, the error control number, all of that. It sucks, but your customers will thank you. And you will thank me after I come back after this 5-minute timer. All right, we're back here as our timer is finishing. I don't want to take that away from anyone that wants to watch that satisfying timer hit. If you're still staying with me on this video, then you must be in the business because this is pretty long and drawn out. Timer's done. We hit next. Something is complete. It's now deactivating the keys because that's the program we're running. Ignition is on. It gets that feedback for the state of software. And it's just saying, everything, you have to have 2 keys to re-register. We keep hitting next. Key count is 0, which is important. And now we will move into registration where we will present the key. Now it's asking for the ignition to be off. We come here, off. That flips from red to green. Green is good. We hit next. Now it gives us explicit directions on what to follow. Number 1, read the directions. Number 2, do not push the brake pedal. That's not what it's asking you to do. It's telling you not to do that. These are automatic transitions. I am taking the key out of my RFID bag. And you also have to keep the keys separate. You need key 1, key 2, left, right. I use name bubbles from my kids' stuff, and that's what I do. So you have to have the Mazda logo up against the start button for the transponder, ignition switch to on. Also, if you get nervous, like I always do, this is just the directions. You have to hit next to go to the next screen to go to the operation. That'll save you some heartache. Ignition on, and then present the key. It's going to take 2 clicks. 1, 2. Hold the key. Watch it process. Listen to the chime. We want to say registration key count 1. And that works. If it doesn't go up by 1, just simply retry. It happens. Excuse me while I put my key number 1 back into the RFID bag and get key number 2 ready. Do we want to do more keys? Yes, we do. 2 are required. And ignition off. That is happy. Next. Again, these are just directions. Next. Take the key number 2 out. And I hope you don't get motion sickness while I'm jostling around here. Accessory on. Present key. Make contact to make sure it's all working. Key count is 2. Do we want to do more keys? No, we don't. And that is now covered. Assistant would be nice. Vanna White. I hit no here. And ignition off. Follow the directions. Goes from red to green. Hit next. And now it is telling us to start the car with each key in order. I told you to separate them left and right. Key 1, key 2. My car is in transport mode, so I must hold the key up to the car. And we want to hear that engine turn over. There it is. And per the directions, do them in order. Key 1, key 2. That is key 1. And now we'll go to key 2. Since we're all Mazda maniacs listening to this long video of me rambling, we know that Mazda is very particular about key 1, key 2, starting things in order, and having the correct part numbers to avoid certain error codes. I don't hit anything on the laptop. I'm just registering each key. All right, sorry about that interruption. My phone ran out of storage because I'm talking too much. So both keys were presented. Both keys were started in order. At this point, it just asks you to check things. Again, I'm in transport mode, so I can't check prox function or remote function, but that's just me. You just click through here for next, and it asks you to verify things. If you can, great. Otherwise, just assume it's done. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Smash that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.